As we shared earlier, this year in particular with many of the actions, I really felt that Undocumented Youth took it to the next level, and our next speaker was part of a big action. Her name is Yahaira. She is from Kansas, and she is one of the students who staged a sit-in earlier this year at the office of Senator John McCain in Arizona. So please help me welcome Yahaira.
She doesn't want to talk, that's why she's leaving, so I just thought I'd point that out. So, thank you for coming tonight. Like Matthias said, my name is Yahaira, and I'm now 25. I've been in the U.S. since I was 7. I actually came the day before Halloween in 1992. So, this October 30th actually marked my 18th year in the U.S. I had a moment a couple of months ago in July, actually, when we were planning the sit-in and the action that happened back then here in DC, and I was really pissed off. I was sitting there, and I'm trying to figure out housing for 400 people, and I'm calling Emilio like every 5 minutes, and he's calling me, and I don't know what happened that it just hit me. This year was going to mark the 18th year that I've been in this country. So, 18 years ago, there was somebody who was about to have a baby who this year was able to vote. This year, he or she was able to decide who is going to help run this country for hell or high water, come good or come bad. They were able to have that option. And I've been here that same amount of time, and I don't have that privilege. And it was really hard. It was really hard, and it still kind of gets me, just because, I'm like, I've done everything right. I always learn, work hard, apply yourself in school, be a good person, be good to people, give back. And this country will give back to you. And while I can't say that, I've had a lot of opportunities that I wouldn't have otherwise, I've also greatly been limited by my experience and my lack of status in this country. Like I mentioned, I came when I was 7. And like somebody earlier told his story, I also came under the fence, not over it. So it doesn't really help if they build it higher. I put that out there. And my parents were migrant farm workers. I remember sleeping on a floor with my aunt, her 4 kids, my dad, and my mom. We slept on a mattress. We lived in Madera, California. I've had to look it up on a map because I don't really remember kind of where it is, but it's somewhere near the middle. And my parents worked in the fields. I remember my mom really didn't want to for the first couple of weeks. She saw how my aunt came home and how my dad came home, and she's like, I can't. Compared to what she'd been doing in Mexico, she had been cleaning houses. She used to make and sell Jell-O. She used to embroider pillows and blankets. She used to clean military barracks and really do whatever she had to do to get us by. We lived in one room. It was a house, but it was one big room, maybe a third of the size of this room, this way. So cut this room in thirds in this direction, and that was the size of my house. We didn't have running water. And I remember sometime when I was, probably 5 or 4, I was really excited, and I was carrying rocks, and I was helping everybody because we were going to have a kitchen. And we built this kitchen. Well, I carried rocks, they built the kitchen. And they built it out of adobe and rocks and sticks. And that was our kitchen. That was my house. And my life was, I would wake up and my mom was gone because she was somewhere cleaning something. I would come home and my mom was gone because she was working. And I would go to sleep and my mom was gone. And that was my life. And so when I was 7, my father, who had not been in the picture, actually called my mother up and says, I want you to join me. And my mom says yes. Because not only is this man the love of her life, he's also the father of her daughter, and he's giving her a chance to give both her and her daughter a better life. My mom was 24, 1 year younger than I am now. I don't have kids, but I plan on having kids someday, and I don't know how many of you guys have children or want children? How many of you guys, have a sibling who either has children or will have children, or have a best friend who will someday have a baby who you'll love as much, as you could love a child of your own? But there comes a point in this child's life when someone who doesn't know what the struggle of this parent or this child has been is telling this child, that's it. This is as far as you get to go. You're lucky you finished high school. And you're lucky because the government has said that you can finish high school. We don't have to give you anything else. It doesn't matter if you have a 4.0. It doesn't matter that you've been volunteering since you were, in 3rd grade. It doesn't matter that you speak multiple languages or that you want to serve this country. That doesn't matter because we don't have to help you. And that's the case. I live in Kansas City, which is a very interesting dynamic because the state of Kansas has in-state tuition. The state of Missouri doesn't even allow undocumented students into their public universities with the exception of about 2. That means that if you want to go to school in Missouri, you have to pay private tuition, which for me has been $22,000 a year. I graduated in 2003. And I am 4 classes away from my bachelor's degree. And I've been working hard, and I've grown through this process, and I can't say that I don't appreciate the journey, because I really can say that I am a better and bigger person because of it. I am stronger, I am wiser, I am smarter, in a lot of ways, not just intelligence, but in heart, in physical, in mental strength, and loving human beings. Despite everything, while this journey can make people bitter, all of the people up here will teach you otherwise. Because they love. They love their communities. I wasn't supposed to cry. I wasn't even supposed to talk. So, anyway. But all of these people up here, they give of themselves to make this country better. And that's why if you have the privilege, you need to fight for this. Not just because we deserve it, but because the people we impact deserve it. Because your future children, your future nephews and nieces, your future ahijados, or godchildren will thank you for it. Because Gabby will be able to teach, because Diana will be able to teach, because Perna will be able to kick some ass, in a court somewhere. Because Mama is going to teach people how to run businesses and, just grow in places that sometimes are hostile and inhospitable. I went to Arkansas once, and that wasn't fun. So, I'm just saying, so really, I want, the point of this is for you guys to reflect on, these are human struggles. These are struggles not just for ourselves, but they are struggles for the place that we call home, that we really want to better, and that's why we're here. That's why we put ourselves out there. That's why we ask others and encourage others to put themselves out there. Because once we reach this point, there's nothing that will stop us. I've gotten arrested. Really, the next point is I'm just probably going to leave. I'm like, that's fine. You can kick me out. I'll go out with the bang. I was in the New York Times.